What's up, my hunting brothers and sisters? Today we are continuing with my cargo trailer conversion build that I use for camping when I go on hunting trips. Again, keeping it utilitarian. Now we got to heat it. I've got the LF Bros N2 Pro right here, a Chinese diesel heater. Will it heat this efficiently? And is it worth the premium price for this product? Maybe it's not even the right product. Stay tuned, let's find out. Alright, so where we're going with this video is about a year ago I bought an enclosed trailer to use for camping trips, well, hunting trips where I camp on. I'm not a big camper, okay? And I used it quite a bit, did a whole series of all the upgrades I did. But the one thing I was missing is heat in that trailer. So for the past year or so, or 9 months, I've been looking at heating options in the trailer, and a lot of people use, whether it's van life camping or small campers want to retrofit their RV or cargo trailer like I've got, they're using these Chinese diesel heaters, and that can run a gamut of options out there. From the about $100 to $110 very basic, that's this rectangle unit, and you kind of put all these Rube Goldberg pieces together. You get a opaque looking fuel tank, and people build them in cases, and or you can do them standalone and put your fuel tank separate and all that. To their standalone options, this happens to be the LF Bros N2 Pro option, and there's a gazillion ways to do all this. One of them, as I went down spiraled down this rabbit hole of this, is people are complaining about spilled diesel fuel, or just dealing with the diesel fuel smell, or little quirks about the cheap heaters, the ticking sound about the piston fuel pump, and I don't want that ticking sound or anything. So I sat there looking, okay, you know what, I'm not going to do a diesel heater, I'm going to do a propane heater, and there's a couple units that are all in one. There's like these little fireplace ones, and I just kept spiraling back to all these different options. It just wasn't real happy with anything I was finding, and then I stumbled on some YouTube videos for the LF Bros all-in-one diesel heater package. And what really appealed to me was, A, it's all-in-one, it's just a kit. There is no ticking sound because they use a diaphragm type of fuel pump, and they use an automotive grade fuel cap and tank system, so you're not going to have leaking diesel fuel. And I was like, man, that sounds awesome. Well, their latest version of this is still a Chinese diesel heater, but their latest iteration of this, they've got the N2 and the N2 Pro, and the N2 retails for around $250. So, you know, arguably it's a lot more expensive than some of these other all-in-one packages you can get. And they have the N2 Pro, and depending on where you looked online, you're seeing prices from $500 to $600 for the N2 Pro. That's what this unit is. Wow, that's crazy. I don't want to spend that. I'm willing to spend the $250, $300. I'm a premium product guy, but man, $600 for something I'm going to use a handful of times a year, I just didn't see the benefits to it. But this is the N2 Pro, and this is what I went with for some of those reasons. And the reason I got the N2 Pro was they're really hard to find right now, like even just the regular N2s. This is March of 2025, and you can't find them anywhere. And I happened to be on eBay, and I typed it in, and this came up. And it came up, it was for sale for $350 plus like $30 shipping as a buy it now price, and then they had make an offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to spitball a low offer to this seller. I mean, it's already for the Pro a great price. I didn't want to spend that, but you can't find them. So I spitballed him in a price. I think it was like $260 or $265 as a price plus his shipping, thinking he'll kick it back. That's probably not going to go anywhere. And the seller took the deal. And so I got this for It was like $260 or $265. I think they had $30 shipping. So I'm in this for like $290. Now, I was thinking I wanted to spend like $250. So yeah, I spent a little bit more. And yes, I could buy a less expensive. I mean, there's all-in-one packages on Amazon for sub $200. But again, I knew what I wanted. And I was like, this is a win. I got this whole $500 to $600 setup for $300 brand new and all that. So again, this is the LF Bros N2 Pro model. They actually call it their, here's the box you can see right here. They call it their Darth Vader because it's all black series. But basically, real quick, I'm not going to run through all the specs. There's a gazillion specs out there you can read on people's videos. But it's a 5 kilowatt diesel heater. It runs on 120 or 12 volt. Basically, it's a 12 volt system. You got a transformer in there so you can plug it into 120, and it converts it down to 12 volt. You know, this is just going to be an awesome all-in-one solution for me and this project that I'm going to do. So I'm going to run over just some of the basics. Again, I'm not going to go through the specs because I really want to show you as this video goes where I get to with the build on this and this thing installed. And I tend to drag on, and I don't want this video to do this, which it probably will. But again, here's the unit. It's just standalone. Really, so again, one of the huge selling points to me was the fuel system. Again, we got an automotive grade fuel cap and tank on this thing where the cap goes down inside, unlike others where it's like a cap like you're putting on a jug of water or something, and they leak terribly. And this one screws in, it's got venting just like your fuel on your vehicle does, and you can't over tighten it. It actually snaps just like a fuel cap on a car does. So I don't have to worry about spilling diesel fuel anywhere. I can't remember, I think it holds, 5 liters of capacity. It actually has a sight window on here so you know your capacity that you're in that. I've seen guys, now I haven't fired this up and ran it, obviously. I will at some point in this video. But I've seen guys getting, you know, on high, you know, 20 hours or more, on low, going 30 or more hours, you know, and all that. So you're going to get a ton of runtime, or I believe I will, especially my cargo trailer that's insulated. Because one of the benefits the Pro model has that the regular N2 that I was going to buy, that one has, is this one actually has a controller unit that's got a thermostat built in. So in an insulated environment, I can have this thing throttle back and forth, high to low, or on and off, and really extend that fuel life. You know, so it's got, one of the cool things on that is, again, I talked about the controller. You got these quick connects for the controller. You got a quick net connect for the power supply. You can either run the 120 or the 12 volt into this. You can also, and I don't know why you would, you can hook up a 12 volt power back here to the back. I don't know why you ever would when you got that there on the front. Another real cool thing about this heater is the exhaust on this. A lot of these Chinese diesel heaters, the exhaust comes straight out the bottom. So if you're going to set this in something, you got to have an exhaust port, and these things get super, super hot. So I can set this, say, on my fender well or on my toolbox on the front of my trailer, and the muffler, I'll show you that in a minute, and the exhaust pipe. And you're not having to deal with having to run out the bottom, catch the ground on fire, whatever. So again, this just standalone ability to this thing. You got some nice handles here that actually fold down out of the way. Kind of cool, the black, kind of real shiny finish on it. It's going to get scuffed up. We're taking this thing on hunting trips. So yeah, it looks cool out of the box, but this will probably be about the last day it looks cool. Your intake for your air that you're heating up is on the back here. You can screw this off. They got some fittings on this. So I'm actually going to duct this and pull just like you would in your house. I'm going to do a cold air return basically and bring air in from the trailer here. Now this is not combustion air. It doesn't get in any way contaminated with exhaust. And then it's blowing out the front. Cool part about this too is out the front, they do a 3.5 inch where everything else is a 3 inch. So you got less restriction. And one problem I've read is a lot of Chinese diesel heaters get like back pressure airs. That's helping eliminate this on that. So again, really cool standalone unit. It doesn't weigh much. I don't remember the specs on it. Don't really care, but it doesn't weigh much at all. They send it with this bag. Again, with the N2, you don't get everything that you get with this one. So this is like win-win across the board from me. So a bag to keep all of the accessories in. Whether I use it or not, I don't know. We'll see. But when you open this thing up, you can see here we've got, this is a power cable right here. This is a controller cable that comes with it, that these both quick connect in the front. You get a bunch of hardware and fittings to connect exhaust lines, to connect the heating and return lines, mounting brackets, and all that stuff is in here. You get discharge and intake louvers. So the smaller, this would be 3-inch. This is for what I will, my cold air. This would be for my heated air dumping into my trailer. We'll see. I got some different ideas on that, whether I use these or not. But if you were tent camping or whatever, I mean, all these are in, and they're super well made. Very, very nicely constructed. You get the two sizes of ductwork that these expand out, hopefully long enough. If not, you can buy this stuff on Amazon. So we get the smaller return, we get the 3.5-inch heat. You also get elbows. Let me get this exhaust pipe out of here. You don't get these on the N2, you get these on the N2 Pro. But for example, this is just a quick connect elbow that goes on here, and you can point this, you know, up, down, sideways, whatever you want to do to direct the air where you want it to go. You get the same on the backside. Again, will I use them? Probably am going to definitely use these. So we'll see. In this cool case here, we've got the exhaust pipe. And then in this box, I believe I've not opened it. Yes, we've got the muffler for the exhaust. And again, we'll show this running. The videos I've watched on it, this muffler is a true muffler where a lot of them aren't, and you actually get a significant noise reduction with this. A couple little mounting pieces if you're going to mount it to something. Let's see what else is in here. Here's the, I believe this is the controller. So yeah, this would be the controller plus a remote control. So this can be what's mounted, say, on the wall in my trailer. And I got a remote on off, so if I'm sitting inside and I want to shut it off or do whatever, I can. This is going to, you know, act like a thermostat in your house, as I understand it, and looking at reviews everybody's got online. And then we got the power supply. So this would be the 120 volt you plug in. This would be if you wanted to connect it to a battery, I think, to go to the back. So we'll rig all that stuff up for my specific use case, but that's my plan. Now, what is my plan on connecting this to the trailer? Because I don't want to do some Rube Goldberg go through the window screens or anything. I want like legitimate connections. So I was looking, and I saw a couple of videos, and guys were using these RV sewer connectors that have got these posts on them, and you can screw on and screw off a cap and screw on, screw off the fittings. I was like, that's great. And then I learned that this has got different size inlet and outlet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to design my own. I have a 3D printer. I'm an engineer. I can design stuff in 3D. I'm going to design my own. So I'm going to take some dimensions on this thing, on these components, and I'm going to go sit down at the computer, knock out some designs, print some stuff, and then we're going to assemble this out of the trailer, figure it out, cut holes in the trailer, get everything mounted up, and get this thing running. I'm going to show you the end result. So I'm really excited about this project. Now I can stay warm on hunting trips. So I've rambled on too long on this part. Go check out a ton of other people's videos on the specs of this. I think I got a heck of a steal at under $300 for this setup here. So that's where we stand. See you guys at the design desk, I think. All right, so it's been over a week, I think, since I unboxed my LF Bros N2 Pro diesel heater. Doesn't matter. Anyways, for my trailer project, trailer's sitting in here in my barn, and today I'm going to connect everything up. So real quickly, here's my thoughts on this thing. All right, so my plan is I do not want it sitting in the trailer. I don't want it near the door. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna set this on the ground, and I'm gonna set it kind of underneath. I want it near this corner right here. And what I wanna do is, in case it's raining, inclement weather, I wanna be able to tuck it under the trailer, okay? I can run the exhaust out and away. And then I'm going to bring the vents up and tie it in. So the one over here to your right is the hot air. Okay, that would be supplying warm air. And I'm gonna bring it into the trailer down low, okay? And then the return air is on this side as my dog walks through. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna actually come up there by the actual vent in the trailer, and I'm gonna attach and run down. So I'm gonna use flexible hosing to do that. I've got it pulled out away from the trailer right now just because the sunlight's glaring so bad. Just fighting the sunlight. So let's go over like all of the components that I have here. My camera centered up. All right, so basically, here's kind of the component system that all goes with that. This is a bunch of the stuff that came with it that I showed in the other video. What I did was I found online sanitary sewer connections. I thought that's a neat design, but nothing was right size for the heater, so I designed my own. I'm gonna set this camera down and show you. All right, so for example, this is a 3.5-inch diameter duct. This will be supplying the hot air from the heater into my trailer, and just trying to find a 3.5-inch diameter vent and fitting was difficult. So I printed this off. This is actually with a PETG filament that will withstand heat. Okay, so it can slide in here, and I can clamp this off. Now, what I did with this was I actually made this design similar to, again, what I saw in the sanitary, and it's a quick lock. So this piece, this flange and piece is gonna mount to my trailer. Okay, I'm gonna cut a hole using a 3.5-inch hole saw. I'm gonna cut a hole in the trailer. I'm gonna silicone this really well, and I'm going to screw it to the side of the trailer. And then this attached to the hose is going to go on here. It's going to slide on, and it just turns and it locks on. That's it. So I can supply hot air in. I have the exact same thing, only in a smaller diameter for the 3-inch line, which is the return air. This will go up high, mount to it, goes in, quick couple, that's it. When I'm not connected, I don't want a hole through my trailer, I came up with these caps that I can go on and just turn. I put a little hole in the end here. I'm gonna put a little screw in there and put like a little tether cord in case. I don't think these are gonna vibrate loose driving down the road, but if they did, I tether them. And if they do, I can actually change up this design, make them a little more constrictive and all that, and just reprint them. I mean, it's a 3D printer, it's no big deal. So that's my plan on that. On the inside, for example, this is a 3.5-inch. I printed off my own vent covers. I wanted to keep them flush. They're kind of directional, so I can point this one blowing hot air into the trailer. This is my return. I can actually turn it so it's pointed upward and it pulls all the hot air down. Again, it's gonna be up by the ceiling anyway, but engineering me a little OCD, ADD, I don't know, all that stuff. I have it going on. I bought one of these off of Amazon. This is a cable outlet, and I'm gonna cut a hole in the side of the trailer for that, and that's gonna be a 3-inch hole, as is that return, so I got a 3.5 and 3-inch to cut. I bought these on Amazon dirt cheap. They were like $7 each, so dirt cheap. Anyways, and so I'm gonna have this for the cable routing because I want the thermostat cable and the power cable to come out to it. And they use these special connectors. Good luck finding connectors. So I thought, well, you know what I could do is I could actually just have these just in here. So they're just stored in here. The cable's all inside the trailer neatly wound up, and I get to where I need them. I can open them up, I can pull them out and pull out as much as I need, and boom, now they're all sealed. And I think that's gonna be my best scenario on both power and control cable. I rack this in my head quite a bit. So yeah, that's it. All right, enough rambling. Again, I've rambled, gosh, already looking at the recording 5 minutes, and that was not the intent here, but it's time for me to get some work done, so. Okay, I know I want my return air to be somewhere up right about in here. I've mapped it out on the outside. Looks pretty good. I got a cylinder spot marked down below. Here's nothing. We're driving the whole drilling a hole through for a marker to run my hole saw from the outside in. That's always nerve-wracking. And similarly down here, this is where the hot air is going to dump in. I'm going to go a little higher than my mark here. And here's where my drill came out. And we're going to do the 3-inch. Make sure I got the right bit. Yep, 3-inch, because this is return. Here we go. There we go. And just some self-tapping metal screws with some washers. And perfect. We don't need to over snug them. All right, this is where we're coming out for our cable and power connector. All right, so there it is. That's gonna be my cable port. And you can see it opens and closes, all my cable ends stored in there. So I'm gonna go route those right now. They're coming in right here. I routed my power over. I did take off some more insulation and then re-shrink wrap that. And then I'm connected into my fuse box here and on my ground bus right down here. And then as far as my temperature control, right now, my thermostat and everything is just stuck to the tape, or stuck to the wall with very high bond tape, 3M VHB. And so it's just gonna, right now, just sit here. I probably will stay like this, probably gonna be fine. But again, when I'm done, when I'm not using this, I can pull all these wires in. I'll just kind of stuff them down in this like little area down here. And the connectors can just sit here and ride in this right here. So this actually worked out really well. Boom. All right, this thing is so easy. Just remote, turn it on, and I'm going to show you. You can see right now that it is turned on and everything is warming up. The glow plug's warming up, okay? You can actually see right now the wattage draw on the batteries. Again, I got 200 amp hours now of batteries in here, okay? So we are running off the batteries completely on this right now. So we're gonna take this. I know that it takes about 2 minutes to warm up, and so we'll check it here in just a second. You can see she's warming up, blowing a light white smoke. It does that on startup. You can hear microphones up here by it. Not overly loud. If you come back, my head is about 2 feet away. That's a startup. And what you don't hear is you don't hear the clicking sound. Now, the muffler and exhaust are going to get lightning hot. In a camping situation, grass and all that down there, we don't want that. I might get like a metal plate that I can throw down in situations where there might be something flammable. But I want to be able to put this underneath the trailer. So there you go. You can see she's firing up. Let's go check the controls again. This is pretty cool. So here's the controls. You can see it's firing, the burner's firing, okay? And right now it's 9 degrees Celsius where this is at, so I would have to do the conversion. Unfortunately, this is all gonna be in Celsius. You can see there's been like literally nothing, no drop whatsoever on my batteries and just the firing up process here. You can hear it sucking the air in. if I get back to where I'm at, it's really not too loud. That's it. The sound you hear. If I come back to where I'm at, if you come clear back here where I sleep, that's the sound you hear. No ticking, and with the thermostat, it's going to shut off when it gets up to temperature. Okay, here we are. We're back out by the trailer. Again, you can see pulling in from the cold air return and dumping right back in. All right, so here we are. I'm actually going to camp in my trailer tonight at my house. So, in full disclosure, it's going in the spring. It's getting to be late March in Indiana. The nights of cold weather are few and far between. I'm too busy right now to go camping anywhere, so I want to test this heater out in cold weather. Now, is it winter cold? No, but I'm going to probably come out here tonight right around 10 p.m. It's supposed to be around 38 degrees. It's supposed to get down to about 31 to 32 degrees through the middle of the night. This thing's not going to be preheated. When I get in it, I'm going to turn this thing on and let it run. So basically, it's filled up with fuel, so I got a full 5 liters of fuel. The 200 amp hours of battery that I have on board here are completely topped off. There's no other power source. Obviously, the solar panels won't be charging when it's dark, and it's not plugged into either the truck or the wall. So we're going to see how this thing does through the night. I'm going to get up in the morning about probably 6 or so in the morning, and we're just going to see how it's done. We're going to see how much fuel it's sipped. We're going to see how much battery is actually affected by it. I really don't plan on running any other thing outside of plugging in my cell phone so it's charged and I have an alarm in the morning. So that's basically it. That's where we're going with it. Yeah, they give me a good idea. Again, I wish it was a lot colder winter, but this is all we got for right now. But I want to be prepared next fall come deer season. So that's my plan. We'll see you inside after dark when I fire it all up. All right, so here we are. It is about 10 o'clock at night, and according to this, it is 36 degrees out right now, and it is 37.8 in the trailer. So we're going to fire up the diesel heater, and again, everything's charged up in here, and I'm going to let you know right now the temperature set, the limit right around 68 is what the thermostat set to where it kicks off. So we're going to see how long it takes to get to 68 degrees. So it is 10:10 p.m. So let's turn this thing on. It's going to take a couple minutes to fire up and get going, and I'll check back with you when we're at 10:10. So yeah, there's that. All right, so you can see the burner has kicked on, and on the battery, we are 100% 200 amp hours. It's pulling 5.7, just under 6 amps, and that's the startup right now. See about 76 watts. Granted, I do have the lights on in here, so it's a little higher. I am charging my phone over here, and I do have, for those who are wondering, I have a CO monitor down low. So we got the CO monitor. Always want to be safe, so we got the CO monitor, and we're good. So yeah, I know I've shown this in some other videos, but you can see the progress of the trailer here while things are warming up. Countertop up front now. I got storage up there. Added additional power. I put in a fold-away desk. That desk actually folds down. I can take my laptop on the road with me, go camping, do work. Got my cot down over here to sleep on tonight. That's the trailer, man. So here we go. Report back when we get up to 21 Celsius, which I gotta do the conversion. I think it's around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So there we go. All right, one last update for the evening before I actually fall asleep. I want to give like a temperature update. So this thing's cool. It's sitting here and it throttles itself down. So it's sitting here right at 20C, which is 68 degrees. I've watched it a few times. It'll bounce to 21, 20, 20. It just bounces around. Looking over here at the wall, and here we are, 69 degrees Fahrenheit. So not bad. As far as overall time it's taken to get there, it's taken about an hour and a half for this to come up to 69. So this whole place in here has been in the mid to high 60s for quite a while. And looking at the voltage or the battery, I mean, we're still showing a full 200 amp hours, 100%. It's sitting here right now drawing less than 3 amps as it's just kind of humming along. So this is just going to sit here all night now and do this. All right, now I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. All right, well, it is 6 a.m. Got a good night's sleep. Heater's still running. Let's see, let's look here. I did bump it down in the middle of the night. It got pretty warm, so I bumped it down just a bit, but still, outside right now you can see it's 28 degrees, and inside it is 67 degrees. And the heater is over here. I took it down to 19C, which is 65, 66-ish Fahrenheit. And it has sucked almost zero electricity running off of those two 100 amp hour batteries. Yeah, so all right, it's not daylight yet, but I'm gonna go in and take a shower and stuff, and then I'm gonna shut things down, and I'll come back out after daylight and we'll look at the fuel and we'll wrap this thing up. Sun's up. You can see frost on my truck. Look at that sunrise. That here at my house is what I get to wake up to every morning. It's that beautiful sunrise. So yeah, let's wrap this video up. You can see the heater set up right here. So it barely used any electricity. Started out at 13.2 volts on those batteries and ended at 13 volts. Still said 100% and 200 amp hours of capacity. So it barely sipped any electricity. I checked the fuel and it used about 1.5 liters of fuel, which is roughly a third of a gallon here in the USA. At current prices here in spring of 2025, where I'm at, that's about $1.25, so $1.25 in fuel. Now granted, I only got down to about 31, 32 last night. It's going to use more fuel if I'm camping and say it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit out or whatever. But yeah, I couldn't be happier. Everything went awesome. The setup is great. I do have one minor change I got to make. My hose that goes into the hot air hose, I originally printed that component off in PETG. When I was testing things out before I came out and camped, it melted it. So then I printed it off in ABS, it melted that. So I just used their stock fitting and temporarily hose clamped it on there. I'm going to print it off in a polycarbonate, which will definitely go up to the right temperature. But my current 3D printer won't print that. I've got a new one that's coming, and we'll take care of that in the future. So anyways, outside of that, man, I'm so happy with this project. And again, that LF Bros N2? Yeah, N2 Pro. There you go. It's early. I haven't had a coffee yet. I can't say enough about the thing. Now, I wouldn't pay $600 for it. I would not. But at the deal I got it on eBay, I would buy it. If I had, if all I had was the N2 available for $250, I'd definitely buy it. I do have to say, having that thermostat was sweet in there. It just maintained it. On the N2, you would have to start, stop with your remote. But hey, whatever. There you go. So that's a wrap on my video. I'm going to do an overall on this whole thing, like kind of a wrap up, because I don't really see me doing a whole lot more, but who knows? I may come up with a wild idea. But yeah, that's basically it. So check out all my other build videos from late last summer on this. if you're into hunting, check out my hunting stuff. So, as always, God bless, stay safe, and check that out. It's a new day in the outdoors.